Hello and welcome back to Buckle Up. I'm Harry King and this is the brand new Dacia Duster, and today I'm going to find out for you if you should buy it. Can we start by talking about the absolute glow up this car has had between generations? Look at this car. This is a budget family crossover, and yet I think it looks better than a Range Rover Evoque. You've got big, tough, chunky off-road elements down here, proper fog lights as well, very, very sleek headlights with daytime running lights in them. All this forming over the bonnet makes it look really good and muscular and off-roady, and then down at the side they just keep adding even more of these elements. So you've got this big kind of, I don't know what it's supposed to emulate, maybe a snorkel or a side gill or something. It's not actually that, it is just styling, but doesn't it look great? And the big chunky wheel arches in black plastic and down lower on the body as well. You have these lovely 18-inch alloy wheels on this mid-spec Journey model. It's worth saying at this point that this also is just a front-wheel drive, but it still has all of these excellent looks. Here you get a fuel flap, which is exceptionally long for no particular reason. And also I do want to call out that the rear door handles are up here for some reason, which usually is to give the car a sort of coupe profile, but I feel that probably isn't what they were going for here. It was probably just a little bit cheaper than putting a moulding into the door panel, have it in plastic. Round at the back, where it's the same as usual, lots and lots of roughy-tufty, off-roady styling. You've got these nice kind of X-inspired lights. They kind of match up with the font of the logo. Do you see what I mean? Or am I talking absolute bollocks? Also, I do just want to call out this black trim round the bottom of the car has an interesting blue fleck in it, like it was the egg of a rare bird. You also have this very large centre element designed to look like a brush guard. Let's, though, dig into the boot, as it were. I'll open it up, where we're greeted by around 470 litres of space. In an all-wheel drive version, that would drop slightly to around 440 litres. And then with the seats down, you get nearly 1,700 litres. The important thing is it's big and boxy, and actually has some really handy features in it, which you might not expect on a budget vehicle. So I actually have a fully sort of modular boot floor, where you can obviously take out the false floor if you want the absolute maximum amount of space, or you can pop these things or fold them up and use them as luggage dividers if that's convenient for you. But obviously with these in place, then you have a continuous load space from the boot's lip here, so you don't have to worry about lifting things in and out of the boot. It also leaves space for all of your stuff under the floor, like your tyre repair kit and your jack. We also come on to one of the really cool things that Dacia have started integrating to their cars. You've got this kind of modular system of accessories that fit onto these little clips that you can find around the vehicle, but there are two here in the boot, along with a 12-volt socket if you want to use some kind of powered implement back here. The parcel shelf, I'm very pleased to say, is large, substantial, and folds in the middle, just like it would on a Range Rover. We'll pop that out though, just to show you how easy it is to drop the rear seats, which can be done from the back because you just have to lift a small tab at the top of either seat, and then there you go. The whole 1.7 cubic meters. Look at all the space in there. Let's see though how much space there is in those back seats. Well, you know what? I am pleasantly surprised by the amount of space back here, considering the exterior dimensions of the car. Now, legroom is tight, I'm not going to deny it, but I have headroom. I'm 5'11" or 180 centimetres, so a fairly impressive feat in a B-segment crossover. I also have plenty of room for my feet. Is very high sills on this, so if you have quite large feet, you might struggle to get them in and out from under the seat in front, but otherwise I can't see any real issues with the space back here. Materials, practicality, well, I've got another one of those clips I was telling you about here. If you want to have a phone holder or a cup holder or something else, that can be put there, but there's no centre armrest or anything. This is obviously a more basic kind of vehicle. You've got a small cubby though, and 2 USB-Cs, which is nice. No air vents or anything. Both seats have a seat back pocket, and you do have some quite small door bins as well. Not enough space in there for a bottle, but as I've said, you can get modular solutions for that. I do just want to call out the floor mats, both back here and in the front. Dacia do the nice trick of giving the floor mats a topographical style. They kind of have contour lines on them, as if you were, I don't know, keeping your feet on a map, which is what explorers do, right? In terms of materials, these are cloth seats. You have some kind of almost denim inserts in them to lift the cabin a little bit. There is a lot of dark grey materials in here, so it is nice to have that little lift. It could maybe do with a bit more. The window line's quite high as well, so children might feel slightly claustrophobic. They will be safe though, because you do have Isofix and it's on zippers, so it's nice and easy to get to, and you won't lose any covers, which is nice to see. How is it though in the front? Up here there is a pleasant increase in the amount of colour at least, and a fantastic display of what Dacia's really great at on interiors, which is making very, very reasonably priced materials very interesting. So basically everything in here that you can see in front of me is hard plastic. Yet, I think the interior of this feels nicer than a lot of cars in this segment, even though they'll have things like pleather or soft touch on the dashboard, that sort of thing. So you've got this blue element higher up that matches the denim on the seats. You've got silver flashes around the steering wheel and here on the air vents. If you go onto a higher trim car, those become bronze to signify that you're extreme. You get that round the gear knob as well. And then everything's just really practical and sensible and utilitarian, which I think, well, it's an appealing trait in any car, but people who buy Dacias really appreciate that. I think they know their audience. So you've got another one of these little handy thingy bobs for modular use. So if you want to put a phone holder here and have your phone connected to the infotainment, you can do. You've got USB-Cs down here, though you don't have to use them. It does have wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, a wireless charger as well. The rest of the infotainment is slick. It's a slightly upgraded system to the one I'm used to in my Dacia. They have moved up in the world, as it were. I love the colour scheme, just the black and green, super basic, but it's got a nice tactile feel to it. I love the thuddy, chunky noise they use to show that you press something, and keyly, they've integrated actual buttons up here for your volume, which means you're not faffing around on a screen anymore, though of course you do still have a control down here on the steering wheel for your radio stuff in general, if you want to use that while you're driving, which is very handy. As well as that wireless charger, I do have another cubby up here in the centre, so lots of centre storage. I've got another little one here. I believe in an all-wheel drive model that would actually be where your terrain response would be. Then if I open this up so you can get a clearer look, I've got 2 cup holders of slightly differing sizes, so if you've got a smaller can or coffee in the back or a big bottle in the front, and a decent sized center console storage area as well. Hard plastic and hard shut, but it's practical, it's spacious. The surface of this is really interesting as well. It's sort of like, almost like Alcantara, but not quite. It's a mystery, an enigma. It's a mystery wrapped in an enigma. You also have a humongous glove box. I mean, it is halved in size compared to what it really should be. There is a fuse box in there, but it's hard to say that wouldn't be enough space for whatever you might want to keep in a glove box. The other thing that's brilliant in here, physical climate controls, temperature, fan speed, my demist and defrost, all just here on buttons. It's lovely, it's fantastic. Hazard switch as well, and the door lock. If you do upgrade to the extreme model, you get, as I've mentioned, those copper flashes in the interior. You would also get heated seats, which don't get physical buttons. They would be here, as well as a heated steering wheel, which would be nice on cold winter days. My gauge cluster is also digital and is a little bit modifiable. You can look through a few different options. if you want to. I want to talk about, though, the best button ever fitted to a car, or certainly a car in the year of our Lord 2025. Here, if I press this twice, I get My Safety Personal selected. Now, My Safety Personal is where you can set up your settings to turn off all of the ADAS. So if you don't want any bongs and beeps, you don't want the steering wheel to move around on you, you don't want your wing mirrors to flash at you when there's cars around, all of that can be linked into that and just 2 button presses turned off. Yes, you have to do it every time you start the car, but in other cars, you have to go into a multi-stage menu and turn everything off every time you start the car if you want those things off, because they're now mandated by law. This is one of the best solutions for the systems that now have to be fitted, and I really, really appreciate it being available on this Dacia. Otherwise, you've got decent sized door bins with space for a bottle, and then the seats themselves, as I mentioned, they've got that denim flash on them again. They are adjustable, but it's obviously all manual, but it's supposed to be a pretty basic car, and it certainly has a pretty basic price point. But let's see if it drives pretty basically. Okay, so driving the Duster. Let's start with some basic facts and figures as usual. This is a 1.2 mild hybrid, which means 130 horsepower roughly, 230 newton meters of torque, 0 to 62 in just under 10 seconds. Perfectly respectable figures. You can also get this engine with the 4-wheel drive system, and both of them are 6-speed manual gearbox only. Or if you want an automatic, there's a 140 horsepower hybrid car, and that is auto only. Those are the current options, and there are 4 trim levels. So there is Essential, which is like super basic, under 20 grand, steel wheels, that sort of thing. Then you have Expression, which is just below this. This is the Journey trim level, and then right at the top you've got Extreme, which is where you get your nice little bits like heated seats and steering wheel and your extra bits of styling. The bones of the car are pretty much all there by this point. You've got full climate controls, you've got the wireless system, and a really surprisingly good sound system actually. Previous Dacias have not done well on sound systems. This one actually has a fully formed, full range, loud sound system, which I really like. Let's talk about road manners, because that is a concern with a more budget end car. There's maybe not as much soundproofing. Now I will say there is definitely some wind noise. It is quite a windy day today, but I can hear some wind noise. Not too much tyre noise though, and the engine is surprisingly quiet, even though it's a 1.2 3-cylinder. I'm not getting too many vibrations or too much noise from that. And actually, the big change, the big update to the Duster was it's now moved onto the platform that all the other Dacias are on, including my jogger. So a lot of the driving feels very similar. All the pedal weights feel very similar. The very long clutch that doesn't have a huge amount of feel in it, but it's fine. The brakes and the throttle are okay. Peppy engine that really comes on to boost around 3000 RPM. So there's a kind of reward to pushing it when you want to accelerate hard. Very light steering, but good on centre, doesn't move about too much. I can definitely feel the raised suspension and the difference in the amount of roll coming through the body, and it definitely does roll in corners. But for the type of vehicle it is, I don't think that's a bad thing. It's very pleasant, very comfortable, and the most important thing is it leaves you really no space to complain about anything. It's all very well thought through and done to a level that's necessary and acceptable and what you really want for a very reasonable price. So this starts from under 20. Now, as I've said, you're getting steel wheels and white paint for that. You pay for any other colour apart from white, although it's reasonably priced on the options. If you want an Extreme with the all-wheel drive and a nice colour on it, then you're going to be approaching £27,000. For a vehicle with genuine off-road capability, a proper 4x4 system, and a really spacious cabin, that's still very competitive, very good money. Across the entire range, this makes an excellent case financially for itself. Are there better long distance or motorway cruisers? Yes. My Jogger, for example, would be better if you're doing lots of motorway journeys, in hybrid form specifically. But if you want a family crossover that's easy to put child seats in, fits all the clobber in the boot, will be nice to nip out to the shops in, and if you want the option of all-wheel drive, or you do live more rurally, I don't see why you would ever buy anything else, because suddenly everything else just looks like a waste of money, a gaudy waste of money. I mean, the only things even close to this in capability, usability, toughness, I mean, there's some Subarus, although they're more expensive, much more expensive, nearly £10,000 more to get the same level of capability, in not quite as good a form factor, because you're in the XV Cross, whatever it's called these days. Some Jeeps, but again, so much more money for an Avenger with the 4xe system, which I haven't driven yet, but from reports sounds like it's not going to be as good as this off-road either. It's a lot more money. There's just nothing there. There's a couple of Suzukis, but really the ones that are roughy-toughy like this are kind of going away because the emission stuff's killing them. And Suzuki aren't big enough to be able to offer those options anymore, because they have to focus on getting their fleet emissions down. So the rivals are dropping away, and even where they do exist, they're much more expensive. And this is a great car. This is a really great car. We're going to go back and do a conclusion now, but I think you can see exactly where this is going. So that's the Dacia Duster tested. What am I thinking? Well, I think it's fairly obvious. I think this is a brilliant car. Dacia have done it again and absolutely nailed the brief. If you are looking for a small family crossover, I think this looks incredibly premium from the outside. It's incredibly spacious on the inside for the overall size of package. It's economical, comfortable. You can't really ask for any more when nearly all models come in at under 25 grand. Very, very impressed, and a strong recommendation from Buckle Up to check one of these out if you're looking into this sort of car. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. If you go down into the description, you'll find all the links to all our social medias. You'll also find 2 ways that you can support the channel. So we have channel merchandise, and we also have memberships right here on YouTube. So please go and do one or all of those things, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.